Welcome back to ECTV 40's Inspiring the Flock, and today we're going to be talking about readjusting back to college.
The goal of our talk show is to empower students through topics that allow them to realize their full potential. Our topic base will be student-driven, giving you the opportunity to share your story.
Inspiring the Flock is about making students and the local community feel at home and know they are never alone. When we fly together, nothing can take us down.
That's right, nothing can take us down. Our quote of the day is by William Frederick Book. Learn to adjust yourself to the conditions you have to endure, but make a point of trying to alter or correct conditions so that they are most favorable to you.
College is hard.
Yes, it is.
It is. Especially adjusting back to college after a month-long break can seem practically impossible.
That's right.
But with the difficulties that might come about, it also gives you a really good opportunity for a lot of possibilities with the new semester.
Yeah, a lot of growth. And to go off what you said, I think being able to grow can mean so much to adjusting back to college life. Growing starts with connecting people that you've never met. Growing is learning how to balance life's obstacles with your goals. And I know that we both like country, but we both like Luke Combs. So I'd talk a little bit about his Does to Me song. He says how he has to sell his own guitar to post his brother's bail. And in this case, Luke had to give up something important for his career to foster a good relationship with his brother. And lastly, growing is about breaking free and becoming your own self, which makes this world so beautiful. So let's take a look at what establishing a connection means.
The process of readjusting back to college all starts with finding good connections in your environment. So when you first get back to campus after a long break, make sure to get back to your comfort level and whatever that means to you. So open up the windows, open up your door, say hi to your friends and your door neighbors and your RA. Unpack your stuff, go get dinner with your friends. Whatever getting back to your comfort level means, you should be doing those things just so you can get more acclimated to your environment.
And for me, that means throwing on some music and just jamming out.
Exactly.
So I think a huge thing also is to sort of learn about different cultures and play on an intramural team. For me, it let me meet so many people from so many different departments, and that sort of let me grow a lot and really sort of make those new friends.
Right. Even though you might not be a new student here, it is a new start. It's a new start to a semester, or it can be a new start to a day. So you can join new clubs, start a new major, just nothing has to be off limits. If you want to do it, you can do it. Now is the time to start.
Exactly, and I think so many of our friends were living in the same place, and it's recognizing that this will be a great 4 years, and there's a lot of memories left to be made. Our second topic is organization, taking things you love to do and finding new things to spend time on. So it's more about having a clear idea of what your goals are for the semester, sort of like a little bit of a pre-evaluation.
Right, and that all starts with the previous semester. So you have to take into consideration, how did the semester go? What went well? What didn't go as well? Was it good? Was it bad? So that way you can start this new semester on a great note. Do you want it to be the exact same as last semester, or do you want to change a few things? And that's really all up to you, and that can empower you to make new decisions for yourself.
Yeah, one thing for us, and I know we can relate a lot to our viewers here, is sleep schedule.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So it's recognizing that sort of reality of your sleep schedule and sort of knowing that if I'm going to go to bed at 10:30, I should probably get in bed around 10 o'clock and sort of account for that time that you're actually going to sleep and the time that you're just in your bed, just sort of relaxing.
And just as important as reforming your sleep schedule is, it's also important to start your study habits really early on. So if you have a really interesting class that you like, and maybe a class that you don't love as much, you want to break up that study time. So you don't want to study for one of those classes for 4 hours and the other one only for an hour and a half. You want to break up that time evenly so that way you don't find yourself getting stuck in this loop of not really enjoying what you're doing. You just have to give yourself a chance to really enjoy the material.
A little bit of a cycle.
Exactly.
Exactly.
The last step of readjusting back to college is empowering yourself to make this semester great. So Lucas, if you were going to look back to 3 weeks ago, what is one thing that you would have told yourself to do looking forward to now?
Well, something the audience doesn't know. However, we did go in salsa a couple weeks ago. And I think one thing I would take from that experience is all the time I spent before just being nervous and scared about how I was going to perform, how, this is a different environment, people I haven't been or ever hung out with, and sort of just let that just go and really just embrace that lead up to it, because I really enjoyed the environment that I was with and the environment I was in. And now I didn't get into that dance, but I did eventually get into one, and I'm very excited for it.
Perfect. That's awesome.
How about you?
Well, I challenged myself this semester to really fill my day-to-day life with activities that were making me genuinely happy. So I challenge you guys to do the same. If you fill your day-to-day life with activities that are making you happy, then you're probably going to see the effects from it.
Exactly.
And lastly, we challenge you guys, just don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah, you shouldn't be afraid to ask for help. That's part of becoming an adult. Recognizing when you've hit your limit and when to use sort of like your resources to help push those boundaries and sort of exceed the goals that you have. And I think a major thing is if you're ever going through something, just go and ask your neighbor because they might have just finished that obstacle that now that you're encountering. And I think that's a very big part of this.
Absolutely. With our topic coming to a close, we'd like to leave you with some recommendations. A TED Talk, Learning About the Power of Empowerment by David Hughes. Throughout the talk, David covers how 5 key points like support and celebration can help foster a strong, independent mindset, which can boom one's self-confidence.
Exactly, and it was a really good TED Talk. Feel free to send in your thoughts about that and our conversation today, and continue to respond to our gratitude journals posted on our story. Now, building off finding your harmony, we would like to give you a preview on our next topic, which is Ainsley.
Coffee shop talk and feel good vibes. This show is going to be an out of the studio and into the town of Elizabethtown.
With us will be a special guest to offer some insight on how to find the purpose of life and values to live by.
The location of episode 4 will be announced on our Instagram, and feel free to stop by and listen as a live audience.
You can follow us on Instagram at Inspiring the Flock, and if you would like to share your story with us to be featured on our next episode, please send it in.
Signing off for today, we hope you enjoyed the show.